The second winning series is a unique sports program that probes into the often controversial world of professional and amateur sports. Sports View Today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sports View. I'm Ron Cameron.
And I'm Bob Page. Our sponsors in the program, as always, Al Dietrich Oldsmobile. Uncle Al wants to remind everybody that he has super lease deals now available on 1988 Oldsmobiles, and I presume, Ronnie, on GMC trucks, if you're interested in such a thing.
Sure.
At Al Dietrich, you are, good. At Al Dietrich Oldsmobile on M59 in Waterford. We've got Shooters, one of Detroit's hot night spots in Westland on Ford Road, one of many establishments that Harry Keefe and Joe Oshoni bring you. We'll tell you all about those. We have Sports Fans Journal, issue number 21 is out.
P1, and it's available at local...
You got a check for me, you said. You brought a check for me today?
Unfortunately.
One of those rubber ones that bounce every time I throw it on the floor?
This is available at local newsstands and bookstores and Tiger Stadium souvenir stands. To subscribe, call 24 hours a day, 350-3530.
We have Sam Bernstein, or as George and Al would say, Sam Bernstein, the personal injury lawyer. If you need a personal injury attorney anywhere you're watching this show in southeastern mid-Michigan, give Sam a call. We'll tell you how. We have Tom Kelly and the folks at TK's Seafood Grotto. And yes, his Minnesota Twins team has struggled so far this year.
That's why he's in the
this Tom Kelly runs a great seafood place at the corner of 10 Mile and Southfield Roads in Southfield. We have Pass, the Pro-Am Sports Systems, and we have John Rouser, Esley Thomas, and all the gang over at the Sting in the old Playboy Club at Greenfield and the Lodge. Yes, he's back. On the show today, John Salley, the Pistons' outspoken and always entertaining forward. He and Ron Cameron will continue their long-time running battle of verbiage, and we'll sit back and enjoy it when the two of them get up here momentarily. John Salley came close to being, finished for the season today, I guess, going down as they did with Washington to the fifth and final game of that series. You know, the Pistons keep talking about, well, Washington's a much better team than you guys give them credit for.
I don't think that's true. No, I don't think they are either. I don't think they are. You've got to, I'm not saying dominate Washington, but see, Washington plays a boring style. They'll get you in the half-court game, and Detroit is not a good half-court team at all. They got to run to be effective.
We were looking at the Washington roster yesterday.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Vis-a-vis the expansion draft coming up, figuring out whom the Bullets would want to protect on this roster. And once you get past 3 or 4 players, who do you even want to protect? And who would you take if you're an expansion
Moses
team?
Is looking awful slow out there.
He's definitely slowed down, even though you want to protect a guy like him.
Oh, I think you have to protect a guy like him.
And I know, of course, that you're much too busy as a newspaper executive to go to the games, but the fans were asking me.
I'll tell you who I don't like. I don't like this Williams. I think he's too heavy, and I don't think he's that good.
In fact, I commented yesterday, I don't mind telling you, that I think the Washington Bullets probably need a special contractor to go into their locker room and come up with custom-made toilet seats. Because, Ronnie, you can't find toilet seats that are big enough to hold the rear ends of Moses Malone, Terry Catledge, John Williams. I can't believe how big some of these guys are. It's unbelievable. But I was going to say about Jeff Malone, here's a guy in one of the biggest moments of
his career. Mel Turpin when you need him.
Here's a guy in one of the biggest moments of his career. National TV lays an absolute egg.
Oh, does he?
1 for 12 from the field. Now, you want to give Joe Dumars, and Isaiah played him too. Both of those guys a lot of credit. They did a terrific job on him. But Malone basically just came up and took the pipe.
Yes, he
in
did.
The big one. And afterwards, he just stood at his locker and he was answering all the questions. I saw him outside talking after the game and smiling with an attractive young lady. Man, if I'm Jeff Malone and you're a competitor, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk. I just want to sulk.
That's right.
I mean, he didn't even look like he was upset about it. It was very surprising to me.
Now the Red Wings in Edmonton, of course, we're taping this Monday, and most of the people are seeing this after the fact.
You haven't said who's going to win the next series. Pistons versus Chicago, beginning Tuesday
I like
night.
the Pistons. A lot of people picking Chicago. I think it's going to go the limit.
I think the Pistons, again, play down or up to the level of their competition.
That is, I agree with that
They will
statement.
play up to the level of Chicago. I don't think it'll go the limit. I think the Pistons should be able to handle the Bulls.
In what?
They do. I'll say 5 or 6.
Ooh, interesting.
5 or 6.
Say one or the other.
We'll talk to
Don't say
John
both.
Salley about that when he comes up here.
Okay.
All right, Red Wings versus Edmonton. Again, we tape this on Monday. They're playing the Oilers on Monday night. And to me, I think we said at the last show we did, the Wings really have shown up and they have played, except for Game 1, terrific series.
They played terrific, but I think they've had it now, and I think they will not win another game.
You're predicting Edmonton will win
Edmonton
on Monday night.
5, yeah.
And you may be right about that. What about this?
Hope I'm wrong.
What about this New Jersey-Boston situation now? As you all know by now, at least if you're hockey fans, the New Jersey coach Jim Schoenfeld was suspended indefinitely by the National Hockey League for an altercation with referee Don Koharski after a game the other night. New Jersey then went ahead to a court of law, got an injunction prohibiting the NFL from suspending him.
NFL would have nothing to do with it.
NHL, I beg your pardon. Schoenfeld was back behind the bench, and the regular officials who were assigned to work that game walked out when they saw him.
That's right.
They had to import amateur officials at the last minute.
They had a tough time, but you can't blame them at all. You got to blame the whole New Jersey organization. First of all, somebody from the league should have been there. Whether it be a John Ziegler or a Brian O'Neill should have been at that game. Poor John McCauley had everything to do.
John McCauley is the chief of officials. What would Ziegler have done?
I think he at least had been there and explained it and said the situation, but nobody was there, and they got the court injunction, and Schoenfeld went behind the bench. They tried to solve it. McCauley got Schoenfeld up. I think Ziegler could have brought him off the side and said, this is the way it is, and all that stuff. He didn't do that, and as a result, you had chaos. You had a poorly officiated game. You had some problems. I don't blame the officials for walking out. What Schoenfeld, who was a maniac when he played, a gutless wonder, and also when he played, what he did was totally uncalled for, and it was not for the contact. There might have been a little contact, maybe not. I don't know.
When Koharski fell.
Yeah, there was definitely contact, but that might have been the assistant coach trying to break it up in there too. But the thing is, he was suspended for verbally assaulting, which he should have been, for verbally assaulting him after the game. It's okay in public in front of the TV. It made it look bad. It's a black eye for the league. It's a black eye. You see, you got Rose who did that, and now you got him. Basically,
Rose
players,
pushed an umpire.
Right.
Pushed an umpire.
Well, this guy basically pushed him. Well, it was verbally. Anyway, these guys are not in control of themselves. Schoenfeld couldn't play. He couldn't coach. He proved that when he was fired a couple of years ago. The only reason he got this job, I'm told, is because he knifed the other guy in the back, Doug Carpenter, who was a good coach, and this is his team, and that's the reason they're winning it, because of Carpenter, not Schoenfeld. And I don't blame the officials for that whatsoever.
That's some pretty heavy stuff on your part to say all that.
Well, I've heard a couple of
the way I feel about it is this.
Backstabber anyway.
You don't referee a game in overtime, sudden death overtime, the way you referee a game in the first period. Now, what Schoenfeld did was wrong. Had it occurred during the regular season, there's no question in my mind, a suspension and a fine.
Wasn't it overtime?
Ronnie, I'm using an analogy here.
Okay.
You don't referee a game, you don't call the game the same way in overtime as you do in first period. You let a lot more stuff go in the overtime.
A lot more stuff.
This is the Stanley Cup playoffs, the semifinals now. To me, at this point, I fine Schoenfeld heavily, but I don't suspend him. I think the Devils basically, wanted their coach. That's why they went to a court of law. But the NHL bylaws should read, if you're a member of this league, you subscribe to what we say. You are under the power, and New Jersey shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done this, and also they're better off than saying, fine, let bygones be bygones. They'll rally to the point when the new coach back there, they'll get a better officiating game. Now Boston's complaining, and rightfully so.
Sure they are.
Although O'Reilly's a bum too.
It makes the NHL look Mickey Mouse. Simple as that.
Sure
it makes the NHL look Mickey Mouse. Quick comment on the Tigers. They're one game out of first place in the American League East.
Thanks to Billy Martin's bar brawl and the fact that Texas beat New York. What George Kell would say, when you go to weird places like that,
Billy Martin. Don't you love Martin talking about how he's a changed man? He's married for the 4th time now, and here they get this guy.
Bob.
This guy is in a topless bar, drunk out of his mind, and he's only been married, what, 2 months now? Yeah, he's changed.
You know
real
that he
changed
gave about
man.
4 different accounts of what happened in that.
Probably drunk in the daytime
too. 3 or 2 people. This guy doesn't know what's going on.
Let's get John Salley up here, and
Let's
you and
get him
John
out
can
here.
continue your, shall we say, repartee. The Pistons forward can't wait to get at Ron Cameron. He'll be up next.
He'll have a fight on his hands.
What's the problem, lady? Where's your husband?
I don't need this.
You don't. Let Uncle Al's Ernie come through for you.
Yes, ma'am. No problem. Coffee?
Uncle Al's highly trained army attacks general and major repairs on your private vehicle in a personal way. Thanks.
No, thank you.
Uncle Al, crushing the competition and high-cost service with the respect you deserve.
L. Dietrich, Oldsmobile, GMC Truck in Waterford.
If you're a sports fan, you should subscribe to this, Sports Fans Journal. For just $15 a year, you can read columns from George Kell, Ernie Harwell, Jim Northrup, Dick Vitale, Don Cherry, Bob Feller, Bill Frieder, George Allen, Eli Zaret, Larry King, and many more, as well as features and profiles. For more information, call 24 hours a day, 350-3530. Sports Fans Journal is also available at local newsstands and bookstores and is sold at Tiger Stadium's souvenir stands.
It's brand new, and it's soon to be the hottest seafood place in suburban Detroit. It's TK's Seafood Grotto. At TK's, you'll find the finest and most original seafood anywhere. 35 different dishes, each prepared to order with the freshest fare flown in every day. TK's also has great steaks and chops, lunch or dinner, and there's entertainment too, beginning with TK's special cocktail hour at 5 p.m. So whether it's a special evening out for two or groups up to 100, it's TK's Seafood Grotto, the northern suburb's most beautiful new restaurant.
We can be easily reached from anywhere in the metropolitan Detroit area. Located at 10 Mile in Southfield, please come out and see us soon.
We're back on Sports View with John, Salley, the Pistons, and those.
No. Before we get going with John,
what are you interrupting for?
I'm not going to ask
sit back and relax.
Because as the producer of this program, I have a piece of videotape here I want to get to right now. I want to let everybody know how seriously John Salley takes the responsibility of appearing on Sports View today. How geeked up he was for this interview. Just moments ago, here was the scene. Just John Salley brought breakfast in. Can you imagine this? Lounging in his tracksuit, eating pancakes and drinking orange juice. Now, John, on our next show, we've got Spencer Haywood sitting out there right now. Spencer has a very expensive silk suit on. He's behaving like a gentleman sitting back in his chair. I mean, is this the way your parents brought you up?
I mean, that's his look now. I'm a sweatsuit wearer.
All right. Well, we are looking forward to this appearance in the program because last time you were here was a year and a half ago.
I gave him a little hell.
And he gave you a little hell. In fact, it was definitely one of the funnier moments that we've had on Sports View today in some time. Mr. Cameron, and how's this for the pot calling the proverbial kettle black, actually accused John Salley of a lack of intellect because of John Salley's alma mater.
I didn't say that. You watch this on the tape.
We've got it on videotape.
I didn't say that.
You said Georgia Tech.
I said Georgia Tech.
Well, let's go to the videotape and let's watch.
Went to Georgia
watch
Tech.
You and John Salley from a year and a half ago.
It's not noted for being a Rhodes Scholar school.
It's not?
No.
Georgia Tech is
let me answer this.
Let me tell you something.
No, I have to answer this.
I can tell you some stories of Georgia Tech.
I have to answer. Georgia Tech is rated #2 behind MIT and then #3 behind Stanford. You is nowhere I heard you talking about athletes. Do not talk about dumb athletes when you're speaking to me.
I'm going to tell you something.
Because we will have a fight in this place.
I've talked to 2 or 3 athletes that become professionals out of Georgia Tech, and they talked about the preferred treatment they got at Georgia Tech.
That is not true.
Well, it's not true.
What college did you go to?
I didn't go to college.
You didn't go to college?
What high school did he go to?
Then don't talk to me about college.
I'm going to tell you, though, but the people told me, and these are the athletes themselves telling me.
You got to be kidding me.
That they got preferred treatment at Georgia Tech.
Sweetheart, listen to me, all right? We have the highest graduation rate in the ACC.
I suppose so.
Okay, wait a second. There is no PE at Georgia Tech. There's no basketball at Georgia Tech. We have to be made to take, and there's no bowling.
Well, that was a year and a half ago, ladies and gentlemen, and now I'm going to get a cup of coffee, take off my microphone. Round 2.
I'll answer to that.
Ron Cameron
just be
versus
quiet
John Salley.
Didn't Brooks Steppe graduate from Georgia Tech?
No, Brooks Steppe went to Georgia Tech, was found ineligible his junior year, came back his senior year when Coach Crimmins took over. Another thing, only one player besides Mark Price and myself ever went professional basketball. So you said
Joseph went professional, didn't he?
No.
But didn't he play for CBA?
But you didn't talk to Joseph.
No,
I mean, Joseph, no. That's right. So you said 2 or 3 players. You only talked to Brooks Steppe because
no, I didn't say basketball.
Wanted the rank. He lived with you, and
no. I didn't mention basketball though. I'm talking baseball.
All right, who?
Somebody in the minor leagues that shall remain nameless.
Not
I can't remember his name. That's professional. Minor league's professional.
Oh, do they come in this show?
No, but they were professional. I didn't say in this show.
Now the referee. Now at this point, the referee breaks them up in a clinch. Right, they're clinched, and I'm going to come in and break them up. Right?
Hey,
you have a question about basketball?
You're coming off with a nice career in the NBA. You give the Pistons something that's definitely lacking, a shot blocker. The consistency's still not there.
Isn't it? Oh.
No.
My
you have to agree with
come
that.
on the first and the 15th.
You'd have to agree with
consistent.
that. You're not maybe as consistent as you can be.
Well, I'm also not consistent in playing time. A lot of times when I get in the game and I get 2 fouls, which is same situation with anybody, you sit on the bench for the whole first half. So
don't get consistent.
Well, if someone gets beat going to the basket, and if I have to intimidate them by going to block a shot, sometimes you have to lay them out.
That's fine there, and you are a good shot blocker and everything. When you were drafted out of Georgia Tech, they talked about John Salley's not the most intense guy in the world. He has fun when he plays, and you do have fun when you play. But you're becoming more of a professional now than you did when you first came in the league. You've improved quite a bit.
I think I'm gonna, when I stop having fun on court, is when I stop playing basketball. Unless they pay me $3 million.
But John,
I'm not gonna lie. But
the checks won't come the 1st and 15th, though.
Well, if they don't, then I'll just take your job. I mean, it's not that hard.
That's fairly obvious, isn't it?
Obviously, when he's here, it's not that hard. But the thing is, there's no checks that come in here the 1st and 15th.
Yeah, you're giving them out. $100.
Yeah.
Can I write
you want to write a guest column? Sure, come on and write a guest column.
You'll probably say, "Oh, look, he can't."
No,
yes, I can.
Probably can't.
What
at Georgia Tech.
I think what
maybe that's why people are writing in yours. You don't have one in there, do you?
You sure I got a column in there?
Who writes it for you?
Me? I write it myself. I don't need any help. The only guy that's got a ghostwriter is Bob Pace. He can't write.
I think what Ron is referring to was, you look at your career earlier this season. You were not playing well. What happened?
No.
Trade rumors started. And they said John Salley was going to be dealt to Phoenix. He was going to be dealt somewhere. You went public and said, gee, I love Detroit. I don't want to go. Then you started playing great. The trade deadline passed, and you didn't start to play that well anymore. What's the deal?
That's not how it went. I played, if I may say, I played pretty good December when Ricky first went out. The whole month of December, I was averaging a lot. I was playing pretty well. Then January came around, came with some personal things. Usually I don't have any personal problems. I'm not blaming that on it, but things started getting in, letting Ricky back in, playing AD again. Then we went into the All-Star break, and usually, just like last year, after the All-Star break when I came on the show, is when I played better. So that's what happened.
What kind of personal problems?
Caught him breaking into my place and didn't want to call the cops, something like that. Remember? Yeah. No. That personal problem.
And of course, another thing, I think that the fact that you use William Bedford is a good friend of yours. In fact, you had kind of taken him in tow, had you not, and tried to help him out a little bit?
Yeah, but I stayed away when they told me we drafted him this summer. I stayed away to a distance because I knew he had, they said he had a problem. But then he became, we became, well, he being on the team, became friends. Dennis became even closer.
Yeah.
And when he had the problem, we talked about it, called the drug people in. He said he didn't have a problem. And then 6 weeks later, he went. But that's the way, people that deal with drugs.
They got to stop this stuff before it starts.
Yeah, well, he's doing a good job now from the reports.
Is he going to come back, you think?
I don't know about this season. We have no control of it. I think it's.
What about Double D? And I just hate to say what that stands for, Dawkins.
Oh, I would love to have Dawkins back on team. He's the funniest person on earth.
He keeps you in stitches, doesn't he?
Oh, man. I don't even say nothing when Dawkins there.
But why won't he play?
Well, his mother got sick. His father got sick on
his ex-wife committed suicide. We all know about that.
I mean, he had personal problems, and Darryl was good at covering him up by joking and all that, and just couldn't handle it anymore.
2 questions before we get to the break. Will Darryl Dawkins ever play again in the NBA, and will William Bedford make it all the way back?
I think William Bedford's going to make it back and going to impress a lot of people.
And Dawkins?
In the expansion draft, because Knuckle play here.
I doubt him being in an expansion draft.
You think they'll protect him?
Yeah.
You think the Pistons will protect William Bedford?
No way.
I can't see it either.
I think so.
Well, you can only protect 8 players.
Okay, but
you got your starting lineup.
He makes $700,000.
What about Vinny? Vinny's no babe in arms.
He makes $700,000. He goes in the expansion draft, and what expansion team is going to be able to pay him $700,000?
Yeah, they might have to protect Vinny. That's interesting.
You're wrong, because they're going to go on the same salary cap.
So
that's average $700,000.
So would you take a different play at $700,000? Would you take? You said Moses Malone won't do it, but if Moses Malone went to a different team, not saying expansion draft, but someone with some playing experience that went in for $700,000, you would want them on your team rather than having William Bedford.
I think William Bedford will go to the expansion because he's 7 feet tall.
Okay.
And with that, round 3 of John Salley versus Ron Cameron has come to an end. Round 4 coming up next. Don't go away.
Get out of it. We'd have several rounds.
Why is Zims totally unique in Michigan? Because we have so much to offer, beginning with bowling. Great summer prices, only 25 cents per game during the day. Softball is back with 14 tournaments this summer. We have over 60 video games. The dining is terrific in Zim's restaurant. Zim's has 3 bars, pool tables, and 12 large satellite TVs with sports all the time. If all this isn't enough, top off your evening at Club Zim's, where the fun begins at 9 o'clock and goes till 2 a.m. We have drink specials with a DJ and dancing 7 nights a week.
Our medical care is usually the best. But what should you do if you suspect a hospital or doctor made a mistake in your treatment?
Law offices of Sam Bernstein.
If you feel you may be the victim of medical malpractice, you should be talking to me, Sam Bernstein. I can evaluate your case by phone and help you determine if you are due money damages.
Dial 644-5410 or 1-800-3333-SAM for your free phone consultation.
That was me, John Rouser, not too many years ago, as a defensive back with the Pittsburgh Steelers, after my playing career at the University of Michigan had ended. Now I'm proud to be co-owner of the Sting, Detroit's most dynamic nightclub. We've got continuous live DJs, continuous videos, and live entertainment every weekend. But you don't have to disco. The Sting is also a great after-work place to meet other professional people who frequent our lounge. So stop in and see us at the Sting. We're in the old Playboy Club, the lodge at Greenfield, with plenty of lighted, secured parking.
Harry Keefe and Joe O'Shoney bring you the #1 names in live entertainment. Bootleggers Live, Lansing, Bootleggers Uptown, Ferndale, Bootleggers Again, Dearborn, the Body Rock Cafe, Detroit, and soon the all-new Palladium downriver. On the west side, well, it's happening 7 nights a week at Shooters in Westland. Shooters has it all. Drink specials, great DJs, and every night Shooters high-caliber live entertainment under one of the finest light shows in Metro Detroit. If you don't want to dance, there's always sports on incredible 10-foot widescreen TVs at Shooters on Ford Road, 1/2 mile east of Wayne Road in Westland.
We're back on Sports View with John Salley, the Pistons. I know we're getting off the Let's still talk that expansion, all that stuff like that. We're trying to do our protected list here like that. I say if an expansion team, I'd take Chuck Nevitt over Vinnie Johnson. Everybody might laugh out there, but Vinnie's 32 years old. He's got a big salary. Salley, or I shouldn't say Salley, not quite. But Nevitt is 7'5" and a lower salary and a great attitude. I think I'd take Nevitt.
Now, about the Pistons playing Chicago beginning of the series on Tuesday.
Hold on, answer the question and shut up. All right, let's go.
We both disagree with you.
All right, well, let him disagree on camera here.
First thing, Vinnie Johnson is 30 years old.
32 with these.
Come on.
He's not 30 years old. He's older than that.
30 years old. And has a body of a 24-year-old, if you ever seen his body. Yeah, you've been in the locker room looking.
Never been in the Pistons locker room.
I don't know about you, pal. Who is making $650,000, but is worthy of it? And
well, yeah, but he's having a bad year this year.
Well, hold up. Wait a minute. We've the Central Division champs. Obviously, he's doing something right. So what? He missed a couple of shots. He's still
couple of shots.
Look, Ron,
Horseman
we
over
got
here.
2 minutes left in this segment. Can we get to the Pistons versus Chicago,
Pistons
please?
versus Chicago.
Yes.
What is the question?
How will you do against them?
I think we'll do well. I think you were right in that point. I think we're some people will go.
I think it's going to go the limit, though, John.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's going to be good for us though, because last year after winning 4 games out of the 5 at Atlanta, we sat around and waited for Boston, who came in. We thought they were going to be hurt and tired, but we were sitting around eating, lounging, and they came in more attentive.
Okay, now against Washington though, you guys didn't play that well. You can say what you want about Washington being a hungry bull. You should dominate Washington, and you know you should with those stiff
Jeff Malone was averaging 33 points. Moses was averaging 21 points. And what happened is when we went to Washington, John Williams and Bernard King came alive, and Darryl Walker had constant play. Whether you want to believe it or not, it was.
You got to dominate Darryl Walker.
Do you subscribe to my theory that I mentioned at the top of the show that you guys tend to play up or down to the level of your opposition?
I think that goes with anyone. When you're high, everyone's going to be watching the Michael Jordan show, and we're going to prove to them, or try to prove to them, that we're the Pistons, the better team.
And then the Celtics, bye-bye.
How do you stop Jordan?
With a gun?
That's about it?
Yeah. You don't let him get 63 points, but you make sure Oakley doesn't get rebounds. You make sure Pippen doesn't get rolling.
If you hold Jordan under 40, do you
hold
figure you got
under 35?
You think you got a good chance to win if you hold him
Nobody
under 35?
else is going to score over there?
No.
Yeah.
No. Because he has the ball 80% of the time.
Well, why do you think that the series is going to go 7? You think you'll have trouble holding Jordan down under 35?
Yeah, I think so. He's a tough player.
You got
the guard in the backcourt.
He does.
Who you got back there?
Raised it.
And now we're on Cameron's comment versus my comment. I believe that it is time for you to win a game in the Boston Garden.
Well, it's time.
I believe
No
that
doubt,
you
it's
will
time.
win a game in the Boston Garden. I believe you will make it to the NBA Championship Series. He says no way.
See, that's why I came to the show, because you asked me to come on the show.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
You'd ask, you were asking me when you're going to come out again.
No, I was joking with you. No. Are you going to be sick today?
You're not going to beat the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, well.
No, you're not.
I mean, everyone's
They're a better ball
entitled to
club.
opinion,
They're a
whether
better ball
it's
club.
good or bad. But, you know.
They're a better ball club.
They're a better ball club? Absolutely. They wouldn't let you commentate in Boston.
do you feel you will beat the Celtics this year?
Yeah, I think we have a great chance.
Do you feel you will do it? Are you predicting that?
That's my answer. You asked me my answer.
You're predicting that you will beat the Celtics.
We have a great chance of beating the Celtics in the Garden.
Do you have a chance to beat the Lakers in the NBA Championship?
We have to beat the Celtics first. We have to beat Chicago first.
That seems to me like a no comment. We'll continue now and let Ron and John Salley continue with the boxing gloves.
No disagreement, that's all.
That's all, as usual, and close it out right after this final
Where's your
timeout.
Houston Rockets box?
If cared for properly, your teeth can last your lifetime. Hello, I'm Dr. Mitchell Klein, here to tell you that in adults, gum disease is the major cause of tooth loss. There are warning signs. Do your gums bleed? Are they red or swollen? Are your teeth loose? Do you have bad breath? If you have any of these symptoms, call me today at 851-2980. That's 851-2980. There's no charge for consultation. Tooth loss can be prevented, so call today.
Nothing yet. But baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. There's something you never could forget. You know, you just ain't seen nothing yet. You just gotta go to school.
If you're a sports fan, you should be reading this magazine, Sports Fans Journal. For just $15, you can subscribe, and here's how. Our columnists include Ernie Harwell, George Kell, Denny McClain, Don Cherry, Dick Vitale, Jim Northrup, Bob Feller, George Allen, Bill Gadsby, and a whole lot more. Sports Fans Journal is also available in local newsstands and bookstores. For more information, call 24 hours a day, 350-3530. Sports Fans Journal, a must for all sports fans.
Thermo Window, the Midwest's exclusive manufacturer of the new Polytech Spore vinyl replacement window, is celebrating their anniversary with an unbelievable 5-day offer. This week only, buy 5 windows for $995. Our thermo-insulated tilt-in windows are specially designed to make cleaning a snap. Call now and receive a coupon for a free energy-saving storm door. At Thermo Window, we manufacture, install, service, and guarantee what we sell. Buy factory direct. 5 windows, only $995. Call today and save.
We're back on Sports View with John Salley. And John, I'm noticing that thing up there, 95% from the foul line. You're doing a nice job from the line. Can you teach Dennis Rodman how to shoot free throws?
I can't teach. I'm just a player.
You're just a player.
John, do you think if you guys had lost that game to Washington that Jack McCloskey would have broken this team up?
I don't know. I doubt it.
For instance, Bill did not play well, Lambeer, during the series versus Washington.
They'd have gone out and got Ralph Sampson.
No, what are you kidding?
No, that's what he wants. That's what Jack wants.
Anyway.
He wants Ralph Sampson.
Anyway.
I know, I agree with you. He's a stiff.
Yeah, I don't like Ralph. I didn't like Ralph Sampson.
He loves him. He wanted to trade Isaiah for Ralph Sampson. What do you think of that move?
You part of that?
That was 2 or 3 years ago. Not anymore. Not anymore.
I don't like Ralph Sampson. I don't like him personally. Anyway.
Don't like him personally either. Huh?
But I should say it on television. Yes, I should.
Say it. Go ahead.
I just don't like him. I just don't like his game.
Do you agree that he has a heart the size of Bob Page's brain? That's microscopic.
That's a good one. You ain't gonna come back on that?
He said it so many times, John. At his point, I just, I sit back and take it, basically.
Because it's true. The truth hurts.
Yeah.
We're out of time here. We're getting frantic.
Yeah, we're just about out of time.
In other words, bye-bye.
We basically have to thank our sponsors. Thank you for coming on, putting up with Ron, of course. As always, it was an entertaining matchup. I want to thank our sponsors as well. Al Dietrich Oldsmobile, our prime sponsor. We had Shooters, Bootleggers, all those establishments that Harry Keefe and Joe O'Shoney run. Sports Fans Journal. TK's Seafood Grotto. We also had Sam Bernstein, the attorney. John Rouser, Ashley Thomas, the Bolt at the Sting. Are we any other sponsors?
We're out of time. No.